Willie D. Live.
And now we got a president in Donald Trump talking about how he looks at Palestine for real estate opportunities. That's the same thing they said in South Africa. When they went and discovered gold and diamonds and mineral riches, they wanted to remove the native black brother and sister because they saw opportunities of economic growth and development, economic exploitation. In Ghana, in Mozambique, even in Libya, all over that region, whenever the colonizer sees economic opportunities, they will remove the native people. And you mean to tell me, Mr. Trump, in a time of genocide and war, you don't want to stop the war. You want to remove the indigenous people for economic opportunities. You sound like your ancestors in America. So what am I saying in saying this, brother? Because the question is, how do we handle those kind of sellouts? Look, we cannot win, nor can we survive if we don't hold each other accountable. But our methodology must never be while we're trying to kill the cancer, we slay the victim at the same time. We have to deal with one another out of love. Even the sellout. I gotta love you enough like grandmama did. I love you so much that you're wrong, I'm gonna take this belt and whoop your ass. And then she would tell us, it's hurting me more than it hurts you.
That's right.
But I got to do this out of love. To every sellout, I love you, but I can't tolerate you. To every boot-licking, handkerchief-head Negro that's in love with your own enemy more than you love your own people. I love you because you're created by God, but I can't live with you.
And I got to whoop your ass.
Exactly, brother. And that's the problem. We love whooping each other for nothing.
Quick too. Quick.
For nothing.
Yeah.
And you see our rappers. And I love hip-hop. I've always loved hip-hop. But you see them having strong courage to slay each other. But they don't slay and talk bad about the FBI. They don't talk that about Homeland Security. They don't talk that about Trump and his administration. They don't talk that kind of talk. They don't threaten them like they threaten each other. And the sad part about it, and I've said this many times publicly, the FBI want to destroy all of them. Here it is, you rappers, our hip-hop artists, you're at each other's throats, and you're being very unmerciful, merciless with each other, but yet you got an enemy that's wanting to destroy the very industry that has made you popular, enrich some of you, and then take and what you're rapping and feed that death and destruction to your own people because they're using you as a vessel, as the weapon of Satan himself. I ask, Brother Will, we sit here. They don't understand the hell you went through when you all made that song No Sellout. Where are the songs No Sellout today? You don't hear them like that. And that was a hell of a damn song, brother. We thought Fight the Power by Public Enemy was raw. That was really raw. Because now you're talking about everybody that's in control of doing wrong to our people. Man, look, I'm 54 years old now. And I am saddened by where we are and what we have become, brother. We're the greatest apologists for everybody else but one another. We seek to show love and empathy and sympathy to everybody else, but we don't show that same empathy and love and sympathy to one another.
How old were you when you realized that this was going to be difficult, more difficult than you thought it was going to be? You know, champion the causes for black people.
To really be honest, 1998, and I joined the Nation of Islam in 1990. But it was 1998 that I really got a real glimpse just how serious these devils are and what they will do to disrupt black organizations, disrupt black leaders. Every youth and young activist or activist, you should absolutely read Operation COINTELPRO. If you don't study J. Edgar Hoover and the counterintelligence program of the FBI against black leaders and black organizations, you're not qualified to lead. You need to see what these people did. Because faces change, but the game remains the same, brother. Man, I'll never forget the most influential man of my life has been the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I've had very close friends. And I got to thank Allah for Jay Prince. I really don't talk about that publicly, but that brother, when that man is your friend, he is truly your friend. I remember we were protesting the execution of Shaka Sankofa, then Gary Graham.
I see it like it was today.
And the Republican National Convention was being held in downtown Houston at the George R. Brown Convention Center. And we were organizing an armed protest to take it to the heart of the Republicans. This was 1990. This was 2000.
I thought that was at the Astrodome.
It was at the George R. Brown.
I was there. I remember protesting.
No, I think you were there in 92. Was it when George Bush Sr. was running? This was George Bush Jr.
Okay,
You're talking about when Robert Downey was out there in front of the Astrodome, when Robert Downey was out there.
Right.
This was in 2000.
Okay.
And we decided that we was going to storm the convention with the guns, the Republican convention. See, these Negroes talk tough. They talk about revolution. I led an armed protest inside the heart of the Republican convention. And we needed assistance. I needed help. And the only one I knew who could help me on that level was Jay Prince. I went to my brother and said, brother, I'm getting ready to hold a protest, such and such. He said, okay, brother. He gave me the help that I needed. And many questioned him afterwards because it was such a big uproar, what we had done. And I remember what he said to those who were upset that he would help me like that. He said to them, they asked him, why'd you do that? He said, because he's my friend. And that brother withstood the pressure of the government for helping me.
What did that help look like? Can you say that?
Well, he made sure we had gas money, and he made sure we had the transportation necessary to move that large body of men to that location safely. Because we felt if we went in multiple different cars, they would pick off one car at a time. And so we put things in place to where the core of the men would be in one vehicle. That one vehicle was him. He provided that one vehicle. He was the only black man I knew in the city that had that ability to do such. And I went to brother, and he gave me that vehicle. That vehicle went all over the world. The Panthers hopping out that limousine Hummer. AK-47s, AR-15 storming up inside of white folks' heaven at the Republican convention. And the government was angry with him that he did that. They were angry.
Is that the same government who have not been angry when white men and militias and KKK show up with guns at various functions, whether it be the Republican convention, the Democratic convention, the rally for peace, the rally for justice, whatever? It just appears to me that every time these guys who show up who are antithesis of the black community, the police seem to be on their side. They always seem to have a nice little happy welcome when they show up at these sites.
Well, you remember when the young white girl died at the protest on the East Coast? and they questioned Donald Trump about it. And his response was, this was the Proud Boys and white supremacist groups who had united to lead a protest by Take Back America, Not Now America, Make America Great Again. These were white supremacist groups identified by the Department of Justice and the FBI as such. And they asked President Trump, what did he think about the protest march? He said, I saw good people on both sides.
Yeah.
That tells you what he thinks. Yeah. That same government took the protesters of January the 6th, who raided the nation's capital, who sought to overthrow a duly elected sitting government, and who threatened to assassinate and kill a vice president and other elected officials. That same president, when he won re-election again, released every one of them from prison. That same President Donald Trump released known Nazis, sympathizers, known Adolf Hitler lovers. He released them when he took his first day of office. All of them. First he lied and said, well, those extremists among them and the most violent ones among them, we will not release. He released every damn one of them. That's what they think. Ray Charles can see what they think. Hell, Stevie Wonder can see it. The question is, do we see it?
Well, what do you think Trump's end goal is? Because that's, if you're on the outside looking in, just on a surface level, that seems absurd to exonerate people who have tried to overthrow your government. I mean, this is the government that you preside over, but granted, at the time, you were ousted when they did that. But now you're back in, and then you turn back and you say, well, forget everything about the Constitution and all of that stuff. I forgive y'all. Everybody cool. Like,
let me tell you what I see. Donald Trump, no matter what you think about him, is the only president in my lifetime, no matter how crazy or extreme his promises is to his base, he attempted to fulfill every damn promise to them. You gotta be straight up and give him credit for that. Donald Trump, though, has an end game that's on a whole nother level, in my opinion. This man has flirted with the idea and even publicly said it, I could run for a third term. There's ways to do it. And then certain elected officials and pontificators and those who speak on podcasts and media platforms, oh no, it's unconstitutional. Of course he could not. They're lying to the people. Yes, he can. This is how he can do it. He cannot run for president according to the Constitution a third time. He doesn't have to run for president. Just switch roles with J.D. Vance, the vice president, and Trump run on a Vance ticket as the vice president. No, it gets a little deeper. If Trump runs as Vance VP, then Trump goes right back to the White House with a Vance victory. And all J.D. Vance got to do is say, I'm stepping down to become vice president. Then my VP becomes the president. That's how Trump can become the president on a third term. Simple as 1, 2, 3. Just be the VP. Let Vance win. Flip the script.